Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shai, Shem Akakwadash, and I want to say Shalom, Doc Knockout out there, showing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one more than likely be titled something along the lines of, don't believe everything you see or hear. This devil has an agenda. All right? Don't believe everything you see or hear. This devil has an agenda. So, this is kind of a minor follow-up to the lesson yesterday. All right, for those, everybody should be aware at this point that a spokesperson, all right, from Turning Point USA named Charlie Kirk was murdered yesterday, killed, right, during one of his speeches, sermons, whatever, I don't know what you'd want to call it, functions, right? And there's some interesting stuff going by it. I mean, the guy's for sure dead. All right. I mean, it's pretty obvious and clear. But there's the whole situation. You got it when you eat a meal, you got to eat it all. All right. You can't leave out the peas. All right. You got to eat the peas. You got to eat the gravy. Right. You got to have it. And some of the peas and gravy ain't looking so right, right? So, and like I said, right off the bat, I don't doubt that this guy was murdered. All right, it's pretty obvious that he was. I don't doubt that. That's as far as I'll say. The guy was killed. All right, assassinated, murdered, however you want to call it. All right, he was killed. All right, we don't condone it. All right, at all. But that's just one of the facts of the matters that happens in the world, especially when you're an enemy of the Lord, man. And that's one of the things that happens, and that's why we got the those scriptures yesterday talking about, the tongue. All right, you got to watch what you say, because, if you say certain things, there are people out there, regardless if they're over the left or the right, that will act some type of way and want to kill you over it, okay? No matter what you do or say, okay? If you have an opinion, people... If it's a controversial opinion, all right, or something that's really politically or religiously driven, people will want to kill you over it. All right, people want to kill us over this truth. Okay, but we have the protection of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and even if we were to get killed, it would be, we would essentially be martyred. All right, for the truth's sake. All right, for Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai's sake. Now we don't want to die, right? But if we did die, all right, that would probably be the better way to go, right? So, just really what we're talking about today is a lot of the stuff that's just interesting about how these Republicans primarily are moving after the shooting, okay? And potentially motives, all right? Could this have been a psyop, okay? There's been a lot of weird stuff going on these past 2 or 3 days, okay? You had that woman get whacked in the neck, all right, on the bus, and then you had Trump say, well, actually, as a matter of fact, he said, we have to be vicious just like they are, murder in Charlotte, North Carolina, right? And the video is, the video's out there, all right? I mean, if you're not can't handle gory things, I wouldn't really recommend watching it. Same with the Charlie Kirk video. But they're all pushing a motive, okay? They're using these events to push a motive right now. And what is that motive? That motive is it's us against them, all right? Or really, they're trying to start a civil war, all right? That's what they're really trying to do, is they're trying to push along a civil war, which, I mean, inevitably will happen. Will this be the coming of it? Could be, could not be. But ultimately, they are trying to push for a civil war because they want civil war. And a lot of people talking. I got this post here from Reddit. You can see this is from Democrats. This was on the popular Reddit, and it's a picture that says, deeply disturbing rhetoric is spreading from influential MAGA figures, including the President of the United States and the owner of this website. They have no idea who the shooter is, and many of these same people mock Democrats when they were the victims of political violence in the past. And then, of course, we have some theft that was occurring. So the fact of the matter is that, yes, why these events did occur, the psyops and the deception and the things to watch out for are the aftermath. All right, the fallout, the things that come after, the witch hunts that people are gonna try to pick up. Thankfully, all right, call all you Halbash Meow Shy. The guy was looked to be a white guy. All right, the shooter, because they have a suspect. Because if not, then I mean, well, either way, I just think who knows what would happen. All right, I mean, we're gonna get there one way or another. But yeah, man, the suspected shooter was a so-called white guy, and they said they found a rifle at the scene, which was a bolt-action 30-06. Jake don't own bolt-action 30-06. That's a hunting rifle. Okay, that's for deer. Okay, Jake likes owning the fucking military shit. They like AR-15s. Okay, they like MP5s. All right, that's the shit they like. Okay, AK-47s. All right, MAC-10s. That's the type of shit that they like. Uzis. All right, handguns. That shit. Okay, they don't like no fucking 30-06 or 30-30 or none of these other fucking hunting rifles. They don't like that. Okay, they want the ones designed for warfare. Right? So, and I called it yesterday because I said it sound from that sound and the distance, it would have to be a rifle. All right, and Jake don't own rifles like that. It would have to be a rifle, and they revealed it was a rifle. And I said on top of that it more than likely a scope rifle. Now you can put a scope or an ACOG or something like that on an AR-15. All right, we've all played Call of Duty. All right, you can put scopes on those things, but it's not like a sniper rifle for an assassination like that. You need like on a distance, and they said the guy was on a building. Okay, you need a sniper, like a sniper rifle, and a 30-06. He had a 30-06. Is that because it's designed for you to lay in the woods and be quiet and hunt deer? Okay, and that's what the guy used, and definitely had a scope. All right, like I said yesterday, you'd have to be an iron sight champion, all right, to be able to take that shot. And I thought he was somewhere in the crowd. I didn't know that. I just found out today that he was on They found it had video. I still haven't seen the video, but of him, running around on top of a building or something like that. So. Just making this lesson as a heed. This is Matthew 24:4. It says, "And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you." So in 25 it talks about many people that are going to say that they're the Hamashiach, they're Yahushua. All right, but there's a lot of things that we can learn from each individual scripture, regardless on necessarily if it's referring to just as we go into 5, it's mostly referring to it says, "For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many." So there's more takeaways that we can get just then. There's going to be people that are saying that they're the Lord, all right? There's going to be people that are going to be deceiving on an all-time high. And the other thing is a warning from Yahushua, all right, that is really a blanket warning saying, take heed that no man deceive you, okay? And you can see that there's a period and then an end quote, okay? So really, that could be used, this scripture could be used just by itself, all right? Take heed that no man deceive you. So as a person, all right, in this truth, all right, of the hopeful elect, all right, of the elect, Lord willing, right, as we all hope to be, hence hopeful elect, we should be taking heed that nobody deceives us, all right, or tries to input or bend or twist ideologies within our brain, all right, and have us, believing a lie. And fuck you. Fuck you. Beard hair decided to get in or mustache hair decided to get in my mouth as soon as I was talking. Hate when that happens. Let me grab a drink. Fuck it. But yeah, we should be watching. We should be on the watch out. All right, because I only have 2 things, but I've been hearing a lot of things about launching attacks and all this, all sorts of different. I mean, pretty much everything you need is going to be in this here picture. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and open it up and zoom in. All right. These are just a bunch of Twitter or X pages. All right. And see what they had to say about Charlie Kirk thing. Right. So we'll start from the left on down. All right. Actually, we'll start from the left because there's actually more important people on the right. So, libs of TikTok, said, "This is war." All right, 2.8 million views. Joey Manarino says the Democrat Party must be classified as a domestic terror organization, and their members, leaders treated accordingly. Enough is enough. Charlie Kirk getting shot is the shot heard around the country. I'm ready for civil war. There you go. See, I'm ready for civil war. You want to fight, and you're going to get it. Calling for civil war. All right. Oilfield Rando says, I don't want the National Guard sent to Democrat cities anymore. I want the Air Force sent. You know what that means? They want to do a carpet bombing. They want to bomb it. They want to bomb cities. They want these people that are patriots, that love America, want America to make war with its citizens. This place is done. This place is done. Back in the day, you Republicans these days, and you Democrats as well, just know that your ancestors, all right, the people that formed your party would be disappointed in both of you. All right, they'd be very disappointed in both of you. All right, because they'd say, well, no, this isn't what we stand for, right? So, according to how you believe it, right? They'd say, no, really, it was all a psyop and set up by the fucking 1948ers anyway. And even before that, before they were 1948ers, they were still around, but it was all a psyop by them. All right, that this country is controlled by those 13 families, those the Ish families. All right, the 48er families, right? Always has been. Sean Davis says, when Democrats lose elections, they couldn't steal. They murder people they were able to defeat. Okay. What else? To be fair, JFK was assassinated. You can say the same about Republicans if you really want. It's just two sides. I actually made a little post that'll be going live a little bit later for a community post. And it just shows you that the Democrats and Republicans, they're the same people, all right? Well, obey your masters, all right? Obey your masters, all right? And listen to what they say and obey, okay? Because red and blue, all right, are the same, okay? They're the same. Democrat, Republican, you're the same, all right? You're different flavors, but you're the same sucker at the end of the day. Right here from Ron Filipkowski, all right? Trump issues a statement after Kirk's death blaming the rhetoric of the radical left. Gunther Eagleman says they've declared war, so they're launching war. There's going to be, people warring with each other, it seems. There's no going back after this. There's no more words to be said. The only way this ends is with the complete annihilation of the Democrat Party. So they're calling for a complete genocide of a people, all right, that believe in something that they don't believe in, all right? You're always talking about, the tolerant left. They're so tolerant. They don't like it when we talk about gay people. They get mad and scream at us. They're so tolerant. They're so tolerant, right? Well, you guys are you claim to be tolerant, but every time someone does something against you, you say we need to go out and have a civil war and annihilate these people. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? All right? And Matt Forney, and you guys have no accountability because you're looking at the guy and you're saying, oh, he looks a little feminine. The guy doesn't look a little feminine at all. Doesn't look feminine at all. Saying, oh, he has a feminine hips and his hands are smaller. No, it's not. No. Okay. Anyway, Matt Forney, you guys have no accountability. Literally, Trump could go out and shoot somebody, and you'd say, no. It must have been a transgender black person. Like, it's Trump literally in the video. No. They must have been wearing a Trump outfit. Like, you guys don't ever take accountability for anything, right? And you're mad all over this, but you don't remember you guys were celebrating the death of those two Democratic senators. All right, they got chopped up with their dog in the house. All right, with a guy wearing a fucking Halloween mask. Okay? So don't even try to, you Democrats and Republicans are two dogs foaming at the mouth, just looking at each other and trying to bite each other when at the end of the day, you have the same owner. Okay? You live in the same house. Okay? You're being fed the same food. Okay? One just likes being walked at night. One likes being walked during the day. That's it. You're the same fucking people. Matt Forney, and again, as I got yesterday, I shall set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. You guys are at each other's throat. All right? Chomping at the bit and shit to get each other. Charlie Kirk being assassinated is the American Reichstag fire. It is time for a complete crackdown on the left. Every Democratic politician must be arrested and the party banned under RICO. okay, under RICO. So you can just, so now they want RICO law to go out in full effect. So they want to be able to blanket, well, that's why the RICO was made. They want to be able to arrest everybody, okay? So, and they could, you got to think about the implications for this for us, all right, the Israelites, okay? They could say, oh, well, we don't like, if they start running RICO shit, and they just, oh, we don't like the Democrats, RICO them. Oh, we don't like these people, RICO them. All right, they could say, oh, the Hebrew Israelites, and they could make a false flag event where one of us did something, and then say, oh, RICO them. All right, and then like it said, some of you shall be cast into prisons. Okay, so you got it. When he says, a lot of people look at this and say, oh, well, no, it couldn't be anything. Let's go and get another scripture. Ecclesiasticus 5:15, it says, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. Here's another one. Matthew 10:16 declares what we should do. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents, harmless as doves. So we've been sent into the midst of wolves. These people are wolves. So we have to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So again, we're not going to go out and do some dumb shit like that. But that's not going back into the scripture that we just got I closed out of it. Ecclesiasticus 5:15. It says, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. So we have to we have to carefully examine things and be wise as serpents. Okay? So we can't be ignorant in a great matter or small. Why we would not go out and do something like that, there's no stopping them. All right, well, only Yahweh Shem Shai will stop them. But if, when the time gets going, he could allow them to do something like that where they might say, oh, so-and-so, all right, and some guy that we've never even seen, no part of any Israelite camp that we've ever even seen. All right, no one knows him. You're going to see IUIC, oh, we don't know him. GMS, we don't know him. ISUPK, we don't know him. And they're going to say this guy was in one of the camps, and he went out and did something heinous. All right, T to the terroristic attack, right? And then they're going to say, oh, RICO him, right? They could do that. All right, think about the implications. Okay, think about the implications. There was actually an old quote. Right, there's a quote by this guy, and it's a worldly quote, but it has some smarts behind it. All right, it says, they came first for the communists, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a communist. Then they came for the Jews, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a Jew. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for the Catholics, and I didn't speak up because I was a Protestant. Then they came for me, and by that time, no one was left to speak up, right? So you have to use that type of ideology to think, and we don't speak up in this, but think, all right? You can translate this, okay? They came first for the communists, and I didn't think anything of it because I wasn't a communist. Then they came for the Jews, and I didn't think of anything, think about it, and I didn't think about it because I wasn't a Jew. And then they came for the we are. Then they came for the Jewish, and we didn't speak up because, and then I didn't think of it because I wasn't Jewish. Then they came up for the trade unionists, and I didn't think about it because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for the Catholics, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a Catholic, right? And I didn't speak up. No, I didn't think about it because I wasn't a Catholic. Then they came for me, and I should have been thinking about it, right? So that's how you could translate that. Butchered it all to hell, but yeah, man. So we don't speak up about anything, but think about things. All right. First, they come for these people. Yeah. And you didn't think about it because whatever. They're going for the Democrats. Well, think about the implications. Okay. You're not utilizing that wisdom of a serpent. All right. You got to be harmless as doves. We're not going to go out and do an event like that. We're not going to go out and harm somebody. Like Street Teacher says, we'll hurt your feelings. All right. But that's about the only thing about you will hurt. All right. We're not gonna harm you or cause you physical anguish, all right? Unless we say something that's so sad to you, you try to swing on us and you trip on a rock and hurt yourself. Really, that's Most High that did that, and we didn't do anything, right? We'll hurt your feelings. That's the only thing we'll hurt, all right? We're supposed to be harmless as doves. Again, we're walking after the ways of Yahweh Shai, all right, to the best of our abilities, trying to. Okay, we're not gonna go and hurt anybody or kill anybody or do any harm to anybody. All right, not physically. We'll cause you some mental anguish, but that's it, right? So, and with that, if we're being harmless as doves, we also have to be wise as serpents and know that what type of shit these devils do. Okay, again, going into we'll go back in this in just a minute. I'll pull it up though, but it says it's time to bring the hammer down on the left. But yeah, like this guy's talking about Rico. You know what they can do with Rico? It's the same things. It's to these people, we are our people. All right, the Hebrew Israelites. We are nothing more than a highly radicalized version of like they basically just think of us like the Black Panthers, right? That's really what they think of us like. That we're some type of black supremacist group. I mean, and we're not black supremacists. Am I a black supremacist? I'm not what they would call black. All right, I'm a so-called white guy, okay? But I'm a Hebrew Israelite, okay? And they use that term black, right? Black Hebrew Israelite, black this, black that. We're Hebrew Israelite, right? And, you just got to think about the implications, all right? If they start doing RICO stuff, all right? And a lot of Jake, all right, black people, Democrat, lumped in, all right? Lumped in. You're just automatically going to be lumped in, even though we don't believe in either of the shit. We're not Democrats or Republicans. We don't give a shit about any of the fucking shit. But our people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, are instantly lumped over into the left. Lumped over into the left because remember, the Republicans are the white party, all right, other than the chosen few coons that they allow to be around them, right? So Nikki McCann Ramirez says, Fox host Jesse Waters, they are at war with us, whether we want to accept it or not. They are at war with us, and what are we going to do about it? See, they're inciting war. Okay, 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We know what you devils are up to. All right, we know. Okay, we know. Okay, so going back in the scripture I just closed out, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. Matthew 24:4. Take heed that no man deceive you. That's what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to deceive everybody, all right, and have you think it's this or that. Nah. So Elon Musk says the left is the party of murder. Sean McGuire says the left lectured us for the last decade about the dangers of violence from the right. From the assassination attempts of Trump, and that's the other thing that they still won't admit that guy was. They looked into him. They found out he was a Republican. No, couldn't be. No accountability. It's never them. Sean Davis. We just got one with this guy, but he says the Democrat Party is a domestic terrorist organization whose most fanatics will not hesitate to murder their political opponents. This was not a one-off event. I thought the Democrats don't own guns though. You said, oh, these guys don't own guns, so they don't care if gun laws go away. Well, aren't they the ones pushing for the most gun laws? The Democrats want the guns to go away. What are you talking about? But if they were really the party of murderers, wouldn't they just want to keep the guns? Wouldn't that make more sense? You ain't got it. You ain't got it. Laura Loomer is saying it's time for the Trump administration to shut down, defund, and prosecute every single leftist organization. If Charlie Kirk dies from his injuries, his life cannot be in vain. We must shut these lunatic leftists down once and for all. The left is a national security threat. I'd watch out, Loomer. I'd watch out because a lot of people don't like you either. So I'd be on the if I were you, Laura Loomer, I'd be on the fucking lay down right now, because like as people have been talking, every time one of these things happen, there's a copycat. It's just like the same thing with Luigi Maggione, allegedly, if it was him or not. All right, or some guy they pinned it on. Went and shot that CEO. There was a couple other CEO killings, at least one other one. So don't be surprised if another one of these public spokespersons gets taken out. All right, because whenever this happens, people say, "Oh yeah, I can do that, can I?" All right, and remember, it ain't gonna be us. because we just sit back, praise the Lord, all right, watch our lessons, make our lessons, watch a little bit of TV, take our ass to work. We ain't got time to do none of that, right? And then Elon Musk went and said, if they won't leave us in peace, then our choice is fight or die. Billionaire Elon Musk, all right? We must fight or die. We must fight or die. I'm ready for civil war. You want to fight, you're going to get it. We must lead a total annihilation of the Democrat Party. It's us or against them. We need to fight. They're a security threat. All right, up in arms, up in arms. Yeah, you guys, look, we're not ignorant, all right? 2 Corinthians 2:11 again, lest Satan should get advantage of us. We are not ignorant of his devices. They are trying to launch out a whole-on war, okay? That's what they're trying to do, okay? Civil war. This person said very coordinated messaging. True. This person said almost as if they had a plan. Now, maybe it wasn't specifically around Kirk, but it does seem like perhaps the Nazi party in the White House is getting a tad frustrated that blue states weren't acting like they thought because we aren't idiots. So they planned a false flag to get martial law or worse enacted. Maybe they sacrificed Kirk, or maybe this is just them being opportunistic. Either way, we know how they project like mad, so something is off here. Yeah, maybe he was a sacrifice, all right? You know that. When you're in this truth, you understand that, all right? Maybe this guy was a sacrifice, okay? Maybe they got him, all right, so they can go and put in martial law or do something, right? Like they said, or worse enacted, all right? Why, the guy can still die and it can still be a false flag, all right? He wasn't shot. It can be a false flag because guy is shot. They say it's for one reason or another, but he wasn't shot for that. It's a false flag. He was really shot because the elite had an agenda, right? That's how it very well could go. Let's see. Won't get into that. You can pause if you read. Interesting, it could be. This person says they sacrificed that guy. 100% false flag. Shooter has has nowhere to be found. Shooting conveniently done in a red state full of loyalists in a school topped with alt-right youth. Suddenly, all without exceptions are coming up with the bullshit. Suddenly, all without exceptions are coming up with this bullshit while the Democrats are playing their part in the game. The old good cop, bad cop. So when we reach the top point, we settle for something akin to the Patriot Act post 9/11, which is today, coincidentally a day after the PBQ of the sacrificial lamb. It said he just tabled the Epstein files. They wanted him to be the next president. It's true. I saw a guy crying. My wife was showing me a video today. He's gonna be the next president. Fuck! That's how he was talking about. One of them literally called it the Reichstag fire. Yeah. Let's see. Just like January 6th. I study strategic communications. You can't not see this. So, there you go. There you go. There you go. So yeah, man, you just gotta be on your guard. Gotta be on your watch. You know, you have this video here.
Yeah. Grab me out. Hey, yo, grab me out. Go up, guys. Come on. Go up, guys. I don't know. Let's go. I have no idea. Let's go. Come on, guys. What are you doing? Get the fuck out. What? Go.
What are you doing? Get the fuck out. Why? I want a souvenir. They're happy about it. Did you know this was from the hat where he got his fucking neck blown out? They hate these. The world, look, everybody hates each other, man. This world is on its way out, and hey, man, we're chilling. We're chilling. We ain't worried about it. We ain't fretting. Because we want the fuck out of this place anyway, because this place sucks. This place fucking sucks. All right? This place is fucking retarded as shit. The people are retarded as shit. Man, let me go on a rant for a minute. The people in America are dumb as fucking shit. Everyone's stupid. The right and the left. They're dumb as shit. You go to a fucking fast food restaurant, they can't even get your order right. You say no bacon, they put bacon on it. You say salt, they forget the salt. You say, hey, excuse me, huh? And they give you the Gen Z stare, right? You go in to walk into a place, it's 2 hours before closing. They look at you like you're fucking Hitler himself, like you just walked in because now they have to do their job, right? You got the Republicans over here that are complaining about shit that ain't happening. You got the Democrats over here complaining about shit that ain't happening. You got Democrats trying to change all the fucking kids into transgenders, trying to get them to cut their wiener off, get them on hormone therapy, and get fucking mastectomy, all right, where they get their boobs cut off, all right? They're trying to indoctrinate the children, trying to get them all on this fucking gay agenda. Then you got the Republicans that are all just a bunch of racists. They hate anybody that isn't pure blood American, born and raised white, right? You got all these different people out here. You got people saying they don't want guns. You got people that do want guns. All right, you're barely getting paid for your wage. You can't afford a house. You can't afford an apartment. You can't afford to go anywhere. You can't afford food because the rent's so goddamn high. So you can't afford food. You can't afford food because the food's so fucking high. Can't barely pay your rent. Got to work fucking 24/7 in order to pay for the food and the rent that you can't afford. All right, and then you gotta say, oh, I'm gonna go on a break. So you got to make sure your tags are on your car so you can get fined. Then you got to make sure you have insurance because if you get in an accident, then you could be fined. Then you got to make sure that you got your camping license because when you go up there, you got to have your camping license or you're going to get fined. Then you have to have your fishing license if you're going to fish or else you'll get fined. And then if you collect water, rainwater, you got to have a permit for that or else you get fined. We don't want this place anymore. Fuck this place. This place can go to hell. All right? This place fucking sucks. We don't give a single shit about this place. All right? Sure, we like some of the TV. Sure, we like some of the games. Sure, we like some of the football. So that's no reason to live. All right? That's no reason to be like, I want to live in this society because Wednesday is a good show. Okay? That's it. I want to continue living because I'm a diehard Steelers fan. And that's what you live for, to watch people play football? All right? You don't live for your family. You don't live for the serving and the glory of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You don't none of that. It's just, submit, obey, consume. Submit, consume, obey. Submit, consume, obey. Submit, obey, consume. All right? That's life. All right? That's life. That's life. All right? Right here it says, this whole thing feels like it was meant to start something between us. Government created. Absolutely. So, you see it. Yep. Here you go. White shooter targets a mosque. The motive is still unclear. Unidentified shooter assassinates a right-wing apathetic violence insider. This will push the left extremist narrative. There you go. Yep, that's a fascist tactic. All right, that's a fascism tactic right there. They use that. All right, you have to make your enemy look weak and powerful at the same time. Like this person says, the enemy is both strong and weak as the narrative requires. All right, you can go and look up signs of fascism. Come on. It should be in here. Powerful and continuing nationalism. All right, that's happening. Disdain for human rights. All right, that's happening. Identification of enemies as a unifying cause. That's happening. Supremacy of the military. That's happening. Rampant sexism. Well, that's what they say, but that's happening. Controlled mass media. Been happening. Obsession with national security. Happening. Religion and government intertwined. Happening. Corporate power protected. Happening. Labor power suppressed. That like dealing with like unions and stuff. Disdain for intellectuals and the arts. Happening. Obsession with crime and punishment. Happening. Rampant cronyism and corruption. Happening. Fraudulent elections. Happening. Right? Portraying fascism and portraying the enemy as both powerful and weak. Okay? Those right-wing. Leftists are a bunch of soy boy losers who are afraid of guns and they can't protect you. Right-wing. These radical leftists are so violent and lethal. We need to stop them. Which one is it, man? Which one is it? So, I saw it before I scrolled. It said it doesn't matter. They said Trump said it. The guy was a leftist, so any information is basically not going to be taken seriously. They could say the guy was the biggest Republican ever. They're going to say no, he's a Republican. It was already found out that the guy that was a whole psyop too. The guy that shot at Trump was a Republican. They still said that guy was a Democrat. All right. So, look, man, don't believe everything you hear and see. Let's get a couple scriptures here and then we'll close out. Let's see. see. Let me see. Let's get. Trying to think what I want to get here. What do I want to close out with? Close out with this. I got it yesterday, but Ecclesiastes 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Okay, and rust only gets worse. Doesn't get better. All right. It only gets worse. Doesn't get better. So, yeah, man. Don't trust this devil. All right, because this sounds like it potentially could be a false flag operation, and not that the guy didn't get shot, but that either they're planning to turn this either they're planning to piggyback off this, or it was a false flag event all along, and this guy was sacrificed, all right, for a motive that they're trying to push. All right, so again, and let's close out with this, as we already got it, but Ecclesiastes 5:15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. So use your brains. All right, think about it. Think about all these things. You know, you got to really be an intellectual in this truth. All right, think about the implications. All right, that they could do. All right, the things that they could try to do or say with this, or you never know. You just never know. So be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. Ecclesiastes 5:15. So keep your eyes peeled. All right, be watchful. There's a scripture that I want to get. 1 Peter 5:8. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, as a roaring lion, walked about, seeking whom he may devour. So be careful. Don't get caught up in that. All right, watch out for these devils. Hey, man, that's how it is. So that's where we're going to close it out. Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. Keep watching. All right, keep enduring. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory, of course, to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Yeah, keep an eye out, man. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring. Keep the faith. Almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing. Shalom.